No one was prepared for what Jasmine did during her Instagram live, and I mean no one. What began as a small-scale argument between two women over the same guy quickly escalated into a conflict involving many generations. Rashida's whole family is now being dragged through the muck. Rashida's mother had to jump and survive when Jasmine pulled out receipts so deeply, pleading with her daughter to leave before things worsened on video. Jasmine, however, was not going to back down. Oh no. Sis arrived prepared with text threads, voice notes, and a dusty old letter from Rasheeda's early years that was not to be seen by anybody. And the whole live conversation froze when the bomb went off. It was more than simply drama. It was a whole new level of exposure. The worst part was that Kirk watched from the sidelines as everything happened. Now be quiet. Hold on tight because part 1 is where everything went haywire. The night was meant to be peaceful. Rasheeda was at home, browsing through her phone, ignoring the latest rumors and trivial Twitter feuds, after wrapping off a confessional scene for Love and Hip Hop Atlanta. However, one notice caused her screen to freeze. "I'm sick of being silent, Jasmine Goliv." It stated nothing more, just those terrifying words, without any emojis or clickbait captions. Rasheeda felt her heart race faster. Her blood pressure shot through the sky as she touched the notice. Jasmine was wearing a barely there hat and no makeup while live on Instagram. Her eyes glowed as if she had been sobbing or planning. A dot. Additionally, Jasmine dropped the statement that made the whole internet go viral in the first 2 minutes. Put an end to it. I was not going to remain silent. But let's be honest, baby, since some people's mothers like to pretend they're innocent. Thousands of people streamed into the action. More than 32,000 people watched in 5 minutes. It reached 100K by minute 10. Jasmine wasn't only using sophisticated language, she had backup. She displayed screen grabs of previous texts she had exchanged with Kirk. Not just any messages, however. Rashida's mother shared these texts to her. "Explain to me why your mother has been messaging Kirk ever since I became pregnant for the first time." Oh, you guys were unaware of it. You all were unaware of Mama Shireen's involvement. The conversation was in progress. Fire, haha. She is lying. Not Charlene, Mama. Rasheeda has to be brought in here immediately. Rasheeda was pacing her homeroom in the meanwhile. Hands shaking, jaw clenched. Her mother was involved. No, Jasmine, however, had receipts. Rashida's name was suddenly being tagged in comments like crazy. Get live at Rasheeda Mama at Rashida. At Rasheeda, NTROUBLEE. You're allowing Jasmine to treat your whole family disrespectfully. Rasheeda also went live in an instant. She did not accompany Jasmine. No, she launched 2 windows and 2 live broadcasts of her own. Pandemonium on the internet. As Jasmine continued speaking, audio was being pulled out of her speech. Video, old pictures, and letters that Rasheeda's mother is said to have written. In real time, Rashida clapped back. "First of all, don't mention my mother. The fact that you had 2 sexual encounters with a married guy has nothing to do with her," and became entangled. Jasmine wasn't finished, however. "Your mom, Ben, had something to do with it," she remarked with a sly smile. "Remember Christmas 2018? I'll tell you who Kirk slept with for 3 nights after I ejected him. She has gray hair and had Hennessy for breakfast." Social media went into overdrive and comments began to pour in. Kirk remained with Mama Charlene, and Rashida suddenly seemed to be very quiet. Love and a hip-hop reunion were written all over this. And then, without suddenly, Mama Charlene herself entered the discussion. There was no formal introduction, no camera on, just the conversation erupted. "You don't speak my name unless you're ready for the whole truth, little girl." The voice was rough, furious, and shaking with southern fire. Rashida froze when Jasmine gasped, but Jasmine was unfazed. The whole world knew the mother was inside the building, so she leaned closer and spoke clearly. "Then explain to them why you advised me to retain the child." "Why?" "Rasheeda didn't need to know about Kirk and me, you stated." "Inform Mom." Quiet. The stinging type of quiet. It's the kind of thing that seems like an impending storm. Mama Charlene remained silent. Her voice trailed off. She ended the conversation, but the harm had already been done. Now, Rashida with Her eyes wide, Jasmine shot back, obviously trembling. You cross the line when you come for my family. This ain't no show no more. You trying to ruin lives. The night everything changed, your mother wrecked everything by simply speaking the truth you were afraid to express. This was war. There was no more being kind, no more taking the high road, no more keeping it off camera. Truth. V's lineage. Family versus side girl. Loyalty against secrets. The hashtags. Mother messy, baba, Jasmine reveal them all. Hia respond now. Family secrets live were already popular at the time both lives ended. Rashid's mother was never innocent, and perhaps never loyal, and what began as a normal clapback became into a full-fledged family feud because Jasmine dared to say what no one else would. The internet was on fire the morning after the live showdown, but the issue still stood. Why would Mama Charlene ever support Jasmine? What did Jasmine know that had a mature lady completely mute on live? Fans weren't the only ones asking. Why? Was Mama Charlene messaging Jasmine behind Rasheeda's back? This topic dominated Instagram Reels, YouTube response videos, and TikTok analysis. The stakes were greater than ever, and one lady, Mama Charlene, had suddenly become the most talked about name in Atlanta. According to reports, even producers of Love and Hip Hop were rushing to get the rights to the tape before Jasmine sold it to another source. Rasheeda, however, was having a breakdown as the world waited for her to explain herself. She shared a dimly lit selfie video with swollen eyes in a now-deleted account. What occurred last night? That wasn't just her voice. I never imagined that I would have to question my own mother. She concluded the video with a single line that devastated hearts everywhere. If my mama really helped hide that baby from me, I don't even know who to trust anymore. It was nasty. It was betrayal. Rasheeda was obviously in a downward spiral, but Jasmine was only getting started. A few hours later, Jasmine went live once again, and this time she had company. She appeared more put together, with her lashes done and her lip gloss glistening, but her tone was off when she initially tilted the camera low, just revealing her face. Still venom. You guys stated I was lying. All right, great. Let's play. She gave her phone to someone and reached off camera. Nama, crazy Charlene, was there as the camera slowly panned up. She was dressed in a house coat, had no makeup on, her arms crossed, and her expression was tense as hell. Not Mama Charlene, but the internet lost its face. Damn mind. New way. The first thing Mama Charlene said was, I'm tired of people acting. Like they don't know what they did, but I ain't no snitch. This is a mess involving love and hip-hop aristocracy. The camera panned in. Rasheeda ain't gone like I have it say, but sometimes you have to clean the home before the termites chew through the walls. She sighed and gazed right into it as if she were about to testify in court. I advised Jasmine to keep the baby. That's true. Phew. Then she revealed the shocking information. It's also true that I advised her not to inform Rashida at the time, but it wasn't because I was trying to protect Jasmine. As the online chat erupted in gasps, she went on. You know how many times Rashida forgave Kirk? Because I was keeping Rashida from heartache. Far too many. I knew that my daughter would accept him back again when Jasmine told me she was pregnant again, so I reasoned that if she didn't know, perhaps she wouldn't break. But you protected the wrong one, Jasmine said as she sat next to her, silent, now allowing the moment to settle. Boom. This wasn't simply a reality show clapback. Mama Charlene was a mother divided between defending her kid and taking responsibility for her own disaster, and you could feel the tension on her face as it tightened. Chaos reigned at Rasheeda's residence, where, according to a voice note released by a producer, Rasheeda tossed her phone across the floor when she watched the second live, shouting like she was crying uncontrollably. How could she do this? To me? She said again. Kirk, however, remained quiet. Ironically, he packed his luggage and departed before the sun even rose. Without a statement, video, or apology, Jasmine just vanished. She addressed the camera. Kirk was. She glanced at Mama Charlene and said, Every other weekend, I sleep at my apartment while telling Rashida that he was working late. Guess who gave him money for gas? Guess who paid for the hotel when I didn't want him at mine? Fans were split now. Some couldn't believe Jasmine was taking advantage of the situation, while others knew she always knew. Some applauded her for exposing the truth, while others wished Rashida the victory. However, everyone understood in their hearts that this was about more than Kirk. Following the text message release, which included a mother's betrayal, an unknown Twitter account shared images of unfriendly communications between Mama Charlene and Kirk. In actuality, they were full of threats. I warned Jasmine not to bring up the Christmas incident, and I said, "I'm done covering for you if she finds out you stayed here again. You had best keep that receipt hidden from her." The texts were authentic. Timestamped, watermarked, and dated between 2019 and 2022. Rashida was kept in the dark for 3 whole years. After 3 years of treachery, the damage was done by the conclusion of Jasmine's second live performance, and social media went wild. This isn't hip-hop and love. Mama Charlene really swapped sides, and this is on par with a soap drama. Someone please grab Ionla. Family has to be fixed as soon as possible. Rashida posted a single Instagram story with only 5 lines and a bise dark screen, but she hadn't gone live yet. You always said, family first. Rashida was going to approach them directly, so the fallout wasn't even close to being ended. Let's just say that someone was smacked again on the set the next day, and the producers had to close the whole studio. Producers evacuated the set, pushed back production for a full day, and pleaded with Rashida not to turn up upset, thinking they were being clever. But they obviously didn't realize the extent of the betrayal she was entering with. Rashida arrived on set without a glam squad, entourage, or personal cameras, just a little purse, and her phone was already recording. This was a reality TV drama, a mother's wounds so deep they shattered her. Yes, she went live as soon as she entered. "Have you been teasing me? I'm not going to remain silent any longer." Her voice was raw and behind her, and the camera was unsteady. Producers could be heard pleading with her to stop the transmission, but she refused. Jasmine was seated next to her, looking nice with her legs crossed and drinking from a love and hip-hop mug as if nothing had occurred. "Mama Charlene," Jasmine said as she entered the studio. "Well, you showed up, darn you." "You truly had the audacity to sit with her after everything," Rashida said, dropping her phone on the closest chair as the camera continued to record the mayhem. "Jasmine, my mother. You cross limits that don't even have a name yet." However, Jasmine remained calm and controlled as if she had been waiting for this moment, and she carefully got to her feet without flinching. "I merely pointed out that your mother has been abusing you." Then, all of a sudden, Mama Charlene sought to intervene. She raised her voice without shouting but demanding, "Rashida, you're angry at the wrong person. Don't approach her like that." The crew members froze. The studio became quiet. As if he were about to silence someone, the audio tech's hand hovered close to the mixer. But Rashida looked to her mother with the wet title expression that only daughters can give when they know the one person you protected him over me. You lied for her, and you call yourself my mother. For a brief while, the only sound in the world was Jasmine was uneasy now, and the studio was filled with the faint buzz of fluorescent lights above. Mama Charlene eventually said, "I shielded you from yourself. Keep speaking back to a guy who consistently embarrasses you. Made me think that maybe you might finally breathe if you didn't know. But Rashida wasn't having it. You picked him over me because you believed that protecting him meant aiding in his deception." Rashida's live chat was booming, but it wasn't her own mother chatting with the side chick, "Yo, you don't even sleep with him." Far slapped Rashida back just as she was ready to lose it, and then it occurred. Rashida approached Jasmine, who was still standing inches from Rashida, and Jasmine, wearing a cunning little smile, leaned in and spoke loud enough for everyone to hear. You could really hear someone in the crew gasp aloud. Rashida's face became blank, then crimson, then angry. "Oh, wait. Your mother isn't telling you what occurred between her and my uncle in 2012. Jasmine stood there as if she had a hidden weapon in her back pocket hand. "What did you just say?" "You heard me?" Perhaps she did, but Rashida didn't think twice. Smack. The sound of the slap reverberated throughout the building. Producers stepped in, microphones flew, Jasmine staggered back, eyes wild, and the live feed ended, but the harm was done. Shortly after, a different anonymous account shared a screen grab of an old image of Mama Shireen, who was identified as Jasmine's uncle, a quiet music producer from the past, embracing a guy admirer. And guess what? Theories were abounding when picture was taken in late 2012, around the time Kirk was accused of cheating for the first time. Hold on, did Jasmine's uncle and mother Charlene have a relationship? This suddenly became a family story. Oh my god. And I wonder how Jasmine ever became connected to the family. Hours later, Jasmine went on her backup IG account and posted a black and white photo of herself with the caption, "Truth hurts, but lies kill. I'll tell you everything about it. 9 p.m. tomorrow night. Do you know where?" Fans were prepared for another live performance. While Rashida remained silent, a picture was released by a person close to the project. Rashida is seated in a makeup chair with her wedding ring removed and her head in her hands. The caption only said, "She's done." Anna Chu was not visible. The tale is then completely altered by a voicemail that Jasmine leaves from Kirk's own lips. And you know what? There's also Mama Charlene in that voicemail. Fire was Jasmine's promise. But when her new live struck at precisely 900 p.m., no one was prepared for how explosive this evening was about to grow. Before she ever switched. On the camera, more than 120,000 people had watched the waiting room. People were using TikTok lives, YouTube streaming, and screen recording to replay her live in real time. There was no moment here. The occasion was cultural. This time, Jasmine appeared on film without makeup. The eyes were serious, the hair pushed back. Teacup number, no lashes. The same subdued intensity that made her previous performance seem like a confessional. It seemed more like a funeral now, as well as her remarks within the first 30 seconds. I had no intention of going this far. However, her mother attempted to pretend she was innocent after she smacked me, right? They created a plot, and I'm done playing the bad guy. So, allow me to provide you a voicemail they believed had been erased. She pressed play on a second phone she held up. Everything changed at that point. Kirk's voice on the voicemail recording was low and clearly worn out. "Look, Charlene, I need you to contact Jasmine and get her under control. The footage has her in a panic. As long as you follow the narrative, Stellar Rashida is unaware and never will be. Especially with them, I can't let this go out at this time. The camera is turned on. Hold on." The voice of Mama Shireen then arrived. "The first thing I warned you was not to shoot in her flat, boy. Is it possible for me to continue lying indefinitely? Jasmine is not a moron. K. She is not blind, Rashida. I'm taking care of it. All right, just keep Rashida occupied while I attempt to remove the fucking file. Click. The message has ended. A dot. The conversation broke down. No, this guy said, remove the video. Mama Charlene assisted in hiding the recording. Kirk has been acting immorally. However, Jasmine sat still for a while, allowing the music to take it all in. 2 years ago, that voicemail was left. Together, they were trying to conceal the intimate footage that Rashida eventually disclosed. She failed to locate it. After a while, she made the decision to out him. They took advantage of me. She then turned to face the camera. Rashida, you smacked me. However, you were just a puppet in a larger game the whole time. Find out why your mother joined me for lunch 2 weeks ago. And then she took the unimaginable action. She took a selfie. Mama Charlene and Jasmine together at a restaurant. The date is stamped. I'm laughing. A dot. Fans couldn't believe it. That's the reason, Rashida snapped. She was aware of this. Rashida was never going to succeed. Mama Shireen wants a special reunion of her own. It was chaos back at Rashida's apartment. A screen capture of Rashida watching the live event with her eyes open and her palm over her mouth was shared by a close friend. Her whispers were audible. No, not that call. How did she get it? Statements for the next episode were already being prepared by the producers. Employees at VH1 were in a frenzy as they tried to determine if broadcasting the message would be against their contracts. It didn't matter, however. It was already on the internet, and the consequences were immediate. Kirk's Instagram comments were blocked. A dot. Facebook was erased by Mama Charlene. One story was shared by Rashida, white lettering shown on a black screen. I was devastated by the voicemail. However, Jasmine had not finished. She added one last twist to her live performance. Because you all like receipts, keep an eye out. I still have the hotel video. Yes, exactly. Video. Kirk claimed to be out of town on business that evening. My camera disagreed. Who did he get dropped off by? She grinned. You all already know. Boom. A dot. Additionally, only she terminated the live stream in that manner. The internet exploded once again. A dot. The voicemail tape was shared on all blogs, response channels, and gossip pages. Charlene and Kirk were being pulled down by meme sites. Globally, voicemail gate was trending. Rashida became quiet like a ghost in the middle of everything. She didn't return phone calls. Her subsequent tape was skipped. She shut off the group chat for her team. However, one unsettling information was provided by a production worker. Rasheeda left the home without telling Kirk where she was going, packed a luggage, and placed the wedding ring on the bathroom sink. For the first time in hip-hop history, Kirk seemed uneasy in public. He was seen by paparazzi exiting a studio wearing a black hoodie. No security, no shackles,